Why would you say that?
actually
What would
made
you say
out
the difference was from that time to that time? What was it different?
I think things then were different because a lot of these bands actually did get out and play. Like bands like Newfound Glory, Dashboard Confessionals, they went out on the road and they played and they got people to hear them and they actually, became successful. Back then, like I said, there were these bands like playing down here. It's like, man, we're playing 5 nights a week at the Agora. How come we're not getting discovered? It's like, because you're playing 5 nights a week at the fucking Agora. The same 200 people are going to see you every week and seeing you play U2 and and Clash covers. It's like, you're not going to get famous that way.
Okay.
So it's just, that whole premise of the movie, to me, it's like, it's not really true, especially the bands that they highlighted weren't bands that I think were really, destined. I'm not saying they were bad musicians, and they were nice guys, I'm sure, but they just weren't anything that special. There wasn't a special scene. There wasn't like radio. Like I lived places, like I lived up in Boston where there were all these like supportive radio stations that would play local bands and stuff. They didn't have that down here then. They had She, maybe they had VUM, one station, which that was like.
There was another station somewhere. I forget what it was called, Radio Living Room or something.
Radio Living Room was great. It was LRN. It was a show on WLRN that Eric Moss had a show, and I actually heard a lot of new music there that I'd never heard before. But that's what I mean. It was so like small and insulated. There wasn't a lot of support, and the clubs. A lot of these clubs weren't supportive because clubs like the Agora and everything, they mainly stuck to their cover bands, and then we'll have original bands once in a while, or we'll have an original night, but they weren't real supportive. They were more, supportive of just getting people to come in there and drink and watch these bands play covers, and that's not a supportive music scene. Like when I came in the '90s, that wasn't happening. The clubs, they had original bands would play the clubs, and they'd be bands playing their own music. And a lot of crappy bands in the '90s too. There's always going to be bad bands, but there's good bands too. But you got to have a scene. You got to have a scene with clubs, and hopefully more than just one club where bands can just play original.
It's got to be a cohesive.
And it wasn't really like that in the late '70s, early '80s. It wasn't. So
it wasn't a love fest, was it?
Oh no, never a love fest. It definitely wasn't.
Because they're kind of painting it like as a love fest, but
no. I definitely say not. I mean, now there is. Yeah, because 25, 30 years, everyone realizes, everyone's old and fat and has gray hair, so everyone could get along. But back then, no, there was factions, there was just this group of bands, that group of bands, and then, there wasn't. I mean, it really wasn't. To a point, I know there's some groups of bands that stuck around, that hung out together, and that were really friendly. And there was other group of bands, but they didn't really mesh. And now it's like they're all meshing, which is nice, It's lovely.